Itami was once the strongest hero to ever existed, but as time passes by, all his party members, including his teacher and a girl that he was very close with, died on him. Now he lives a miserable, pathetic life, and he is abandoned, hated by the very humans that he protected. Because of his depressing, hateful life, all he longs for right now is to end his worthless life. One day, on a cold and rainy night in the dark castle of the Demon Lord, the giant gate of the castle is suddenly kicked open, making a heavy sound. A sinister smile crept up on the Demon Lord's mouth because there is only one person who would have gotten this far into her territory, the legendary hero. That's right. The brave hero has finally made it to his final destination of slaying the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord stood up from her throne, commenting on the hero's courage and bravery to come here seeking to challenge her. But with a smile, she tells him that this is the bravery of a fool because this foolish act will be the end of his life. Hearing this, the hero immediately throws his sword. With a dead face and teary eyes, he stumbles and mumbles upon his own words, begging the Demon Lord to please kill him. The Demon Lord gets really shocked because she was fully prepared to fight with the legendary hero, but now she is just worried seeing his pathetic condition. In the end, instead of fighting, she ends up taking care of the poor hero by allowing him to rest on her lap, stating that bad things and good things can happen in life. He should not throw away his life so quickly just because of a rough moment in his life. As the hero falls asleep in her lap, the evil Demon Lord exclaims that humans can be cruel too, and the current condition of this boy is evidence for that. They forced a handsome 17-year-old boy to fight against a powerful Demon Lord like her, and this poor boy from another world is forced to risk his own life just to protect those stupid kings and his mistreated slaves, and now the poor boy ends up in such a bad condition that he wants to end his own life. Feeling sad and worried for this poor, miserable hero, the Demon Queen decides to take care of him. But with a cigarette in her right hand, she thinks to herself, why is she helping the hero whose sole purpose is to kill her? She is the Demon Lord after all. The hero finally wakes up, and with a dead but happy smile, he tells himself that he is finally dead, and now he is probably in paradise. The Demon Queen gets surprised, saying, what the hell is up with that creepy smile of his? Hearing this, the hero gets surprised as well, asking her if she has died as well. The Demon Queen tells him no, saying that they are in one of the rooms of her castle. She carried him earlier to this room, telling him that he had cried a lot earlier and fallen asleep. The hero is thankful for her help, but he asks her when she is planning to kill him. She replies that she is not planning to kill him, at least for now, but the hero immediately gets disappointed upon learning this. Later at night, as the moon shines brightly with the clear and beautiful skies filled with sparkling stars, the Demon Queen walks in her hallway and wonders why she is helping the hero, thinking that something is really wrong with that hero. She doesn't even know his name, and yet she can feel something is off, stating that the hero is really weird. Or maybe she is the one who is actually weird. She notices the hero staring at the stars, and she calls him, asking if he is enjoying the stars. The hero with a longing face tells her that he is, saying that when he looks at them, he can remember one of his friends. As she joins the hero looking at the stars, she asks, what do people call him? With a surprised and depressed look, he tells her that everyone in this world just calls him the hero, and sometimes people also called him hey, or kill the monster, or little shit, or untalented dumbass, and even monster. Hearing this, the Demon Queen gets worried and tells him that's not what she meant, asking him, what did his parents name him? To which he replies that it's Itami. With hopeful eyes, she calls his name, telling him that she has an offer for him. The hero gets really surprised, and tears start pouring from his eyes. The Demon Queen gets confused, asking him what's wrong. As he wipes his tears, he tells her that it's nothing. It's just that in this world, he has only been called by his real name twice, and he is really happy. The Demon Queen looks at him with pity in her eyes, but she turns to the side, stumbling upon her words while calling his name, and she flies up in the air, with open arms and a happy smile. She tells him that starting today, he will be living in her castle, and he will become her bodyguard, promising him that from now onwards everyone will call him by his real name. Itami looks at her with hope in his eyes, as she tells him that he will be happy here. And Itami thinks to himself that for the second time his wounded heart began to heal slightly, as he hears those beautiful words. Later, as they walk in the hallway, the Demon Queen tells him that it's good that the demons don't know what the hero looks like, and so, now he can freely roam this castle as a new human ally. Itami gets confused, asking her if she has human allies. She tells him, yes she does, and beside him right now she has 3 more humans in her army. Currently, they are in the human kingdom acting as her spies. With a death stare, she looks at his clothes, asking how many times he has changed his clothes so far. With a confused look, he tells her that he hasn't changed his clothes since arriving in this world. The Demon Queen gets really shocked, stating that she has heard from the human king that he had arrived in this world 2 years ago. Itami shifts his gaze away from her eyes, correcting that he arrived in this world 2.5 years back, explaining that for the first half year, he was chained to a table, and a creepy guy was conducting painful experiments on him. Then after that, the king took him in, and he gave him so many quests that he had no time to change his clothes. And with dead eyes, he tells her that he had no time to even take a bath. As she hears this, tears start building up in her eyes, thinking about his past painful situation, telling herself that she should give him new clothes. And she tells him that he needs to take a bath, as she covers her nose, stating that he smells really bad. The Demon Queen calls for her maid, named Sabet, and she immediately spawns right in front of them. With a cute smile, she asks her if she needs something. The Demon Queen tells her yes, apologizing for disturbing her, and she introduces her to Itami, stating that Sabet is her personal maid and a friend. Sabet introduces herself to Itami, but immediately tries to grab his face, but Itami stops her. She tells him that he has a nice face, but he looks weak, asking him if he is a human. She looks at the Demon Queen, asking her if she is sure about him because to her, Itami doesn't look like he will last even a minute. The Demon Queen gets confused, wondering what she is blabbering about. She looks at her signaling with her hands for Pound Town, saying that she should know what a 500-year-old woman like her would need. With a worried expression, she further tells her that now is the perfect time for her to lose her virginity. Otherwise, if she doesn't hurry, she will always stay a virgin. Besides, she really likes our hero, so she should hurry up, or she will steal him away from her. The Demon Queen pulls Itami to her side, covering his ears with her hand, telling the maid that she is cutting her salary again, and this time it will be minus 1,000 golden coins. The maid panics and immediately tries to take back her words, but it's too late. Later, the maid informs them that about the new clothes. Currently, they don't have any new clothes that will fit him, but they do have the Demon Queen brothers' clothes, and maybe one of them might fit him. Sabet starts thinking about how the hero would look in those clothes, but immediately gets pummeled by the Demon Queen, demanding her to stop thinking about lewd stuff, while she tries to tell Itami to ignore the maid. At the storage room, the three of them try their best to search for the clothes that would fit our hero. And seeing that there are so many clothes there, Itami asks the queen if all these clothes belong to her brother. She tells him yes, explaining that his brother's fucking girlfriend likes to dress him up as a doll. That's why they have so many clothes. Itami asks her if it will be okay to take his clothes without his permission. She tells him it's fine because her brother never wears these clothes. He only wears the black coat that she had gifted him. Just then, the maid found some good clothes for Itami, and she tells him to undress so that they could see how well the clothes fit him. Itami is surprised to hear that he needs to undress right there, and the queen gets mad at the maid, but he decides to do it anyways since it's only the upper part of his body. The two girls get surprised seeing his body filled with scars and stand there silently looking at him. Itami asks them why they are looking at him like that, but the both of them just keep their silence, since for demons it's considered rude to ask about anyone's scars, even though they really want to ask about it. As Itami finishes wearing the clothes, the Demon Queen tells him that it looks nice. The maid agrees, but tells him that it would be better without any clothes. The Demon Queen gets mad again, stating that she will be cutting her salary again, which really scares the maid. After some time, as the Demon Queen is working with her kingdom's paperwork, the maid calls her by her name, which is revealed to be Callie. Sabet asks her, "Where do you think Itami got that many scars on his body?" Callie tells her that it's hard to say where he got some of his scars, but she can easily tell that he has fought against monsters very often. Hearing this, Sabet wonders if he is an adventurer. Callie pretends that she doesn't know anything, telling her that it might probably be true. Sabet tells her that not even a demon can endure or tolerate that many wounds on their body, because, besides the body, the mind will suffer from immense pain because of those wounds. With a shaky voice, not wanting to reveal the identity of Itami, she agrees and mistakenly tells her that it's really hard on their mind, especially after you face a powerful opponent like her little brother. Sabet gets surprised hearing this, asking her if Itami has really fought against her brother. Callie, having no choice, admits that he did fight with her brother, and she can tell because only her brother can leave a scar like that. Knowing this, Sabet gets more surprised. asking if Itami is really that strong because he is just a human, and she knows that even demons would not be able to survive against her brother. Just then, she realizes that her brother is returning to the castle today. She gets really worried because if they meet each other now, it would be a disaster. But to her dismay, the two actually meets again. Callie's brother gets surprised seeing the hero there, asking him what the fuck he is doing there. He gets really mad, ordering Itami to call his sword right now, asking him if he remembers the promise he made with him if he doesn't kill himself. Itami smirks at him, calling his name, Noah, telling him that he remembers as he calls for his sword. He catches his sword mid-air as it reaches, telling Noah that they should do it now. They end up taking the fight outside as they didn't want to ruin the castle. Outside, both of them stares at each other menacingly as Itami raises his hand to call his sword, counting 3, 2, and finally 1. He tells his sword, whom he calls as Saji, to jump and pierce Noah. But Noah jumps on top of the sword instead, and he tries to balance himself on top of it. The sword directly heads towards the direction of Itami, along with Noah on it. Noah worriedly tells him to watch out, but realizing that Itami is not even moving an inch, he kicks the sword to the ground, saving his life, and the both of them falls to the ground. As the both of them lie there, Noah laughs loudly at him, stating that he didn't even try to dodge it. Itami gets confused, wondering why he is laughing, so he pretends that it's funny, trying to laugh like him, awkwardly saying, "Haha, I didn't even try," without even realizing what's going on. Seeing this, Noah laughs more at his confusion, tapping his shoulder, and with a happy look, he tells him that he is really glad that he is alive. His kind words deeply touch his heart because he has never had this kind of appreciation before, and he starts crying. Noah laughs at him, saying that he is crying like a little girl. The two girls are spying on them from behind the bushes. Saibet is really surprised that they are behaving like good friends, because 2 months ago they almost killed each other. Callie remarks that they are boys after all, and it's normal for them. Saibet tells her that boys are weird, and Callie gladly agrees. Later, as Itami rests in his room, he thinks about how both the siblings, Noah and Callie, were so kind to him, and they accepted him as he is. He touches his sword that was lying on his chest and tells Sagi his sword, saying that he doesn't deserve it, but he wants to try to live again and be happy. But he wonders to himself how to achieve that. He sits on his bed and remembers that his mother once told him that a living person is a happy person. He scratches his neck and gets more and more confused, wondering how should he be happy. Just then, with wide eyes, he remembers about the little girl named Sagi that he met before as a hero, whom he even named his sword after her. He remembers that she told him that happiness comes from giving, not receiving. She tells him to look at her smile, saying how big it is, explaining to him that she is happy because she fed that rabbit beside her. Knowing this, he gets really motivated to find that happiness. As he is lost in his thought, he sees a maid working outside, so he immediately jumps outside from his room, rushing towards her, asking if she needs any help. The maid gets surprised but gladly accepts his help. But then, Saibet ends up seeing this. She gets really shocked, wondering what the hell is Itami doing with a maid, and gets really worried thinking that Callie will lose her boyfriend. Suddenly, the green-haired maid touches Itami's shoulder as she is fascinated by his strong muscles. This triggers Saibet even more as she shouts loudly that Itami is making physical contact with another woman. Later, Saibet kidnaps Itami, tying him to a chair with tape on his mouth. Callie asks her if this is really necessary, saying she should not have tied him like this. Saibet tells her that it's absolutely necessary to tie him up because her boyfriend almost got stolen by another girl. Callie asks her to elaborate. Saibet grabs her collar, shaking her around, and tells her that she may be the great demon queen, but she is a naive woman for not realizing what's going on with her man. Callie gets annoyed, stating that she will be cutting 2 times more from her salary, but she boldly replies that she can't cut what doesn't exist. With that, she explains to Callie that Itami has lived only 2 weeks in their castle, but he already has a fan club of all the maid girls and her little brother, and soon they will be snatching him away from her. Callie gets mad at this, and the 2 girls stare at Itami with their death glare. Saibet tells her that she has an idea. She has read somewhere that if they cut a male creature's balls, he will become more docile, and on doing so, Callie will never lose her to anyone. She further tells Callie that he does not need those balls anyway, so it will be okay. As Callie agrees, saying that it's true, Saibet thinks to herself that Callie is a fool because all this is her plan, because she does not want to see Itami with any other girls. Callie asks her to find a pair of scissors, but she tells her that currently they don't have it, but they do have a sword. Itami gets terrified upon learning all this, but elsewhere on a grave, as Noah is sitting beside his girlfriend staring at the grave, he gets a chill deep down his spine. He immediately tells his girlfriend that he needs to go. His friend needs him. At the same time, Callie is arguing with Cybet, stating that if they cut his balls with this sword, he might die since humans are weaklings. But Noah slowly makes his way to Itami to save him. As he unties the ropes, he asks him what the hell he did to deserve this. The two girls keep on arguing, saying that if they keep him tied up like this, then they won't need to cut off his balls, while Noah slowly tries to drag him to safety along with the chair since he can't untie the ropes. Later, as the harem situation is finally resolved, Callie meets Itami, who was standing in the hallway looking at something. She asks him, what is he staring at? But as the both of them stare at the fireworks, he asks her if the demons are celebrating the fireworks festival as well. She replies yes, explaining that since it's an interracial holiday, every race on the continent celebrates the fireworks festival, because on this day, they remember those who are no longer with them. Itami curiously looks at the fireworks outside, longing for it. Callie notices this, so she asks him if he would like to go to the festival. Itami rejects her offer, stating that he is her bodyguard, and he should be in the castle to be ready to protect her if something happens. Callie agrees, stating it's a logical argument, but she sees what Itami is holding in his hand is a receipt for a firework, and she realizes that Itami really wants to go. So, she decides that since he can't go without her, she should go with him instead. But as she tries to ask him to come along with her, she realizes that it will look like she is asking him on a date, and she blushes. But she stood her ground. Even though she is feeling shy like crazy, she decides to ask him if he would like to go to the festival with her, since she wants to go see it as well, telling him that it would be a good idea if they went together. Itami blushes and is very happy while her brother, his girlfriend, and her maid spies on their cute conversation. Noah is really surprised to hear all this because he never thought that his sister would really ask Itami on a date, and so both Noah, even his girlfriend, and Sabet decide to begin the Operation Callie into Itami right from this minute. Later, both Callie and Itami head to a local shop where an old woman is sitting and preparing fireworks. Callie greets the old woman, calling her Granny Hang, saying that they want to order a firework for the firework festival. The granny asks her if she has a receipt, and she gently hits Itami, telling him to show her their receipts. As Itami hands the granny the receipts, she eagerly looks at them, stating that she has been making fireworks for the festival for the past 500,000 years, and it has been a long time since she made a firework for a human. Itami, with a kind smile, gently thanks the granny for her service but immediately gets shocked when she cuts his finger. He gets really worried, wondering what's going on, looking at Callie for explanations. She tells him to not worry because demons use blood for making fireworks. The granny looks at his blood, telling them that this will be interesting. Then she turns back to look at them and sees that the demon queen is pampering the human by blowing air into his wounded finger, trying to ease down his pain. Seeing the two lovebirds, she calls them kids, asking, "Do you know how the demons started to celebrate the fireworks festival?" Hearing this, they get surprised since she calls them kids, as Itami is already 17 years old while Callie is already 500 years old, and they know that the both of them are no longer kids. But they decide to ignore it. And Itami tells the granny that he read that 500,000 years ago, the first king of humans made the fireworks. The granny gets mad, denying the story, saying the story about the first king of humans was made by a dumb human for dumb humans, stating that humans are always trying to appropriate the accomplishments of demons. She decides to tell him the true story about the story of the beginning of the firework festival. 500,000 years ago, when the whole continent was still a peaceful place, a demon girl was relaxing while resting on the green grass. She is staring at the sky, stretching her arms, trying to catch the beautiful stars, wondering to herself if the stars were a little closer, she would have been able to touch them. Just then, she sees a shooting star, and it suddenly explodes midway, surprising her, and she thinks to herself that it is so close. She immediately stood up and dashed in the direction where the star exploded, as she wants to see it closer, and, if possible, to touch it as well. But as she reaches that location, she sees a man who is really confused, asking himself why the fireworks are not bright enough. The demon girl gets fascinated by his mysterious demeanor, and she blushes wildly as her heart starts beating rapidly. She sits with the man and learns from him that the bright shooting star she saw earlier was called fireworks, and she is really fascinated by its beauty. She asks the strange man if he can make those fireworks again. The man stood up from his seat, and with full confidence, he tells the demon girl, of course he could make it again. It is his main goal in life anyways, claiming that he would make the biggest and brightest firework that the world has ever seen. And with a motivated face, he further tells her that his firework will shine brighter than the stars themselves. It will shine so brightly that even his mother will be able to see it no matter how far she is. Even in another world, people will be able to see his firework. But seeing the confused look on the face of the girl, he asks her that his goals sounds foolish, don't they? But the demon girl admired his dream like a beloved tale, mixing imagination with real life, and the determined look on his face really impressed her. She tells him no, his goal doesn't sound foolish to her. She touches his face while blushing wildly, telling him that his goals are incredibly brave and wonderfully unique, a sign of aiming for extraordinary things in the everyday boring life. She requests him to let her stay by his side where his dreams will unfold like stars in the night sky and share in his journey as they become a reality. And finally, she proposes to him to let her love him with each heartbeat until the last breath of her life. In the past, the demon girl remembers asking her mother, "Why are the stars shining every night? Do they not get tired?" Her mother replies, "Stars are like their special friends who never get tired of making others happy." Imagine if there was someone who loved to make people smile. So every day, they put on their brightest, shiniest outfit just for them. That's what stars do every night. They twinkle and shine to brighten up their world and make them feel safe and happy. Then, the demon girl asks her mother, "But why don't they ever take a break?" She replies that stars are always up there watching over them. They are like guardians of the night sky, and they want to be there for them whenever they look up, no matter when that is. It's their way of telling them that even when things seem dark, there is always a little bit of light to guide them. The demon girl finally reveals to her mother that now in the future, she thinks she has found the shiniest and brightest star of her own as she talks about the boy she met. She tells her mother that he is her own star. He has eyes full of hope. He is strong. She tries to help him with all she can, but sadly she cannot help with a lot of stuff. But she always tries her best. As his wife, she supports him with all her strength. He is her everything and her dear star. Later, she helps her husband to walk, calling him by his name, Izumi. Izumi guides his wife to show his work and reveals that this is the true firework that he has worked so hard for. He starts coughing, and his wife gets worried for him and makes him rest beside the tree, scolding him that he shouldn't have walked that much since he is old now. She yells at him with a cute voice, saying how many times does she have to tell him to not force himself too much because she is worried about his health. Izumi apologizes and thanks her for everything that she has done for him. She blushes in a cute way and sits beside him, slowly leaning on his shoulder. Izumi remembers his old life in another world, that his mother was always smiling when she looked at the fireworks. His mother's smile was brighter than any firework in the world. But with dead eyes and a sad face, he asks himself when will his mother look at him like she used to look at those fireworks? Tears ran down from his eyes as his mother chokes him. He thinks that maybe if he could make the brightest firework in the world, then maybe as he slowly loses his life, maybe his mother would at least one time look at him that way, like when she looks at those firework. Then back in the demon world, a firework flies to the sky and it explodes while shining very brightly. He sees his wife smiling with a happy face as she looks at the firework. She is really happy. But as he looks at his wife, his vision starts getting blurry and he can't hear anything. All he could see clearly was his wife's beautiful eyes and her smile. And he is really happy because finally someone looks at him with bright eyes and a smiling face, even though it's not his mother. But he is still glad and very happy. His wife calls his name one last time, but he finally rests in peace with tears of happiness dripping from his eyes. His wife's expression changes, but she sees a letter in Izumi's hands. She reads it, which says, "My love, I am grateful for every moment. Please make a firework with my ashes." His wife is really sad but decides to fulfill his one final wish. With trembling hands and a heavy heart, she cremates him and packs his ashes in a firework. She ignites the firework with a dead face, calling his name. The fireworks flies to the sky and shines very brightly while she weeps in tears, crying from the bottom of her heart, and remembers how Izumi told her before, calling her by her name, Hang, that where he is from, people once a year shoot a lot of fireworks, and his mom was the happiest person in the world at that time. So when his mom was happy, he was happy too. That's why when he sees a firework, he remembers his mom. With a silly smile, he tells her that he knows he sounds stupid, but thanks to the fireworks, he can still remember his mom's face. Back to the current timeline, the old woman tells the hero and the demon queen that's why they have this festival, because it helps the demons to not forget the faces of those who they loved a long time ago. This granny turns out to be the same demon girl, but obviously she doesn't tell them, and she explains that maybe the person died a long time ago, but the fireworks that you both looked at before never lets you forget the faces of who you lost a long time ago, and in doing so, the person they lost a long time ago will always be alive. That's why the bright light of the firework will bring the person back to life for a moment. Just a little moment while the fireworks fire lights in the sky. She gives the firework to the hero, and with longing eyes, he tells himself that maybe he can see his teacher again, as he tries to remember her face when she used to call him an idiot. Elsewhere, Noah has a meeting with the maid and his girlfriend, saying tomorrow night their mission will start. Their main goal is to make sure his sister and the hero kiss as he demonstrates it with a doll, but they have one problem. The both of them don't want to kiss due to some unknown reason, so they need to figure out why. He asks them for any ideas, and the maid tells him that maybe Callie doesn't like his size. He is surprised by her answer while his girlfriend blushes like a moron. Obviously, he rejects her answer, saying that maybe it's because Itami looks like a burned stick or something even worse. Therefore, they need to make Itami more kissable in order for their plans to work. He requests his girlfriend to help them, which surprises her, but she has no choice but to agree. He tells her to find Itami, make him more kissable, and he is probably somewhere looking at the wall and crying. As she tries to look for Itami, our hero is lost in his thoughts where he remembers his teacher. As they sat by the fire, his teacher leaned on his sword and asked him, "Who the fuck are you?" Itami is confused, but he stands up, and with a confident tone, he tells her that he is the hero, a hero who will one day kill the demon lord and save all the humans. His teacher starts laughing at him crazily as Itami asks him why she is laughing. At the same time, the girlfriend is really mad, asking why she has to make the hero more kissable. She really hates him since she knows that he was the adventurer who put her boyfriend in a coma last time, and he almost died. She pulls her blonde hair as she curses, asking where can she find him in this huge castle. But as she shouts in her annoyance, she sees the hero, who is deeply lost in his thoughts while making a weird sound. Itami is finally neat and clean with a new hairstyle and a clean outfit, but he still looks like he is going to war again. As he stands there in the festival waiting for Callie, he hears all the noise that people are making in the festival, but he is just lost in thought thinking about his teacher. Just then, Callie calls out his name, and as he looks at her, his eyes start sparkling as he sees her looking very beautiful in a kimono. She compliments his outfits, especially on his hair, asking if he has changed his hairstyle. He tells her yes, saying that her brother's girlfriend cut his hair. She gets angry, saying that bitch is meddling in her business again. Itami gets confused asking her why she is calling her a bitch, but she just pulls him by the neck, dragging him to the festival, saying that she doesn't want to talk about her, while the girlfriend just looks at them from the corner with a dead look in her eyes. She remembers that while she was cutting his hair, she thought about the past that her boyfriend was in a really bad state because of him. She used the scissors and thought to herself that maybe she should just kill him right now. Itami gets really awkward since it's too quiet and decides that maybe he should say something. He tells her that his big sister used to cut his hair when he was in his homeworld, but doesn't complete the sentence and starts trembling because he almost reveals to her that he is the hero. He covers it up, and instead of saying homeworld, he tells her home village while trembling. His sister used to cut his hair before, but when he became he immediately stopped without completing the sentence, almost revealing he was the hero again. He covered it up again by saying that his sister used to cut his hair before, but when he became an adventurer, his sister was too far to cut his hair, and that's why he has the mess of a hair on his head right now. The girlfriend doesn't say anything, and there is awkward silence again. But later she asks him, since he became an adventurer, was he that lonely when nobody could cut his hair? He tells her no, since there were some people with him, the best teacher in the world, and a little girl who always called him Big Brother, but they all ended up dying, and slowly, he lost them all. The girlfriend starts crying upon hearing this, but when Itami asks her why she is crying, she simply tells him that she is not crying. It's just that there is sweat in her eyes. She cuts his hair and remembers when she found Noah, her boyfriend, after the fight against Itami. He couldn't even eat without help. He told her that his opponent was injured as badly as he is, and she realized he was all alone with those kinds of injuries. Nobody was with him. She clenched her feet as she completely knew how it feels to be completely alone. She is an elf in the castle of the demon lord with cut ears and both on the demon's side and the elf's side. It's a big shame. That's why she was really angry at Itami for hurting the only person who accepted her, saying that Noah may have forgiven him for what he did, but the world will never forgive. Back to the present. At the festival, Noah comes out of nowhere before she could finish her thoughts and scares the shit out of her, and she immediately punches him, calling him an idiot. Noah grabs her hand, which makes her really happy as they head to the festival. She looks at his cut ears, but Noah tells her that she really made Itami kissable, and to be honest, even he wanted to kiss him. He thanks her with an innocent smile, saying that he knows how much she hates humans, but she still did what he asked. He truly appreciates it. She blushes and remembers the past, that when she was captured by the humans, they tried to cut her ears in order to taste it, saying her family doesn't have enough money to buy her back anyways. But Noah tells them to not touch her. They smirk at him, saying they already forgot that he was there. But because of his yapping, they remember that they caught him with the other demons near the border of the demons' territory. They agree, saying they will not harm the girl, but they still need something to eat. So, they will cut off his ears instead. They know it's a shame for a demon to have cut ears, so they ask him if he is ready to take that shame, that too, for an unknown elf who was abandoned even by her own family. They further tell him that they know his family is ready to buy him back. Imagine how his father will be disappointed if his ears are cut. With a stern look in his eyes, he tells them no. His father had taught him that a demon's role in the world is to help the weak, even if it takes his honor, even if it hurts, even if he has to refuse himself as a person. He will clench his teeth and take the pain silently as a true demon. She remembers how she looked at him with tears in her eyes as his ears were cut by those bastards. Now in the present, she is still blushing and leans on his shoulder while telling him he is welcome. At the same time, Callie takes Itami to a good spot that she knows, telling him that this spot is the best to watch the fireworks. As they sit there waiting for the fireworks, they see the beautiful shooting star in the sky. Itami looks at the shooting star with a dead eyes and a serious face. Callie notices this, and she remembers how when she met him for the first time, he begged her to kill him. So she asks him if it's okay. Why did he want to die so badly that he begged her to kill him? With a serious tone, Itami tells her that it's because he felt like he was at the bottom if a toilet clogged with shit. He felt like this because when he came to this world, he didn't know anything about how this world worked. That's why he just trusted those that summoned him. But when he started to understand how this world works, he already lost the people who were dear to him. And when he finally understood the whole situation between demons and humans, he started hating himself for trusting those bastard kings. And now, whenever he sees his own reflection in a mirror, he immediately vomits, remembering his dumbness. Realizing he said all the cringe stuff, he starts getting shy, telling Callie that he sounds too heroic, doesn't he? But with a serious look and a serious tone, Callie asks him if he understands that it's actually not necessary for him to be a hero. She further asks him if he actually wants to be a hero. With a surprised face and blank eyes, he gets confused at the question. He remembers that in the past, back at his own world, his sister told him that he is her hero because he is really good at cooking. But Itami tells her it's nothing compared to what she is doing for him, because she even works 2 jobs just to support him. Hearing this, his sister hugs him, telling him that he is so kind and cute for worrying about her. She tells him that she is just doing what a big sister should do, but she feels sad because she can't do more to help. With a motivated face and steamy nose, she tells him don't worry, since she is about to make a huge opening in string theory, then the money will come like a river. She pinches his cheeks and tells him that she knows that after their mother pass away, they have had rough times. But with a bright eyes and a smile, she tells him that he don't need to worry, because his big sister will take care of everything. But just as she says this, Itami starts disappearing bit by bit, and before his sister could do anything, he completely disappears. As Itami opens his eyes, he sees a bratty king saying, "Dear hero, you are the chosen one, and that's why you have the honor to save his kingdom, and he should be grateful for his useless life finally has a meaning now." Itami is really confused on what's going on and wonder where is he. After that, Itami is kidnapped and captured, where he is tortured almost every day by a masked, where he screams and begs him to stop. But every time his injuries get serious and he is about to die, they used healing magic on him and begins the torture all over again. Itami's teacher asks the king what is the point of doing all this to the hero, and why on earth does he think that he would want to save this world or his kingdom after what he has done to him. But with a menacing smile, he tells her to not worry about that because the hero thinks that the demons have kidnapped him from his castle, and he thinks that they are the one torturing him. He further explains that they aren't doing all this cruel stuff without a purpose, because when they checked his mana hearth, they found out that he has a special talent. With a creepy and menacing face, he reveals that the boy has a dark mana hearth. The teacher gets shocked upon hearing this, asking it is similar to what the Dragon Slayer hero had. The king tells her yes. His physical pain, hate towards the target, and his mental pain can become his power. Also, his mana hearth has no growth limits. He potentially can become more powerful than the demon lord. He exclaims with excitement that finally he can protect his people from the demons. After all, he is just a 15-year-old boy, they can wash his brain off easily, and he will turn the boy into his little bitch who will do anything whatever he says. He further tells her that he will make him believe that only he knows the truth, and he will manipulate him to hate all the demons in the world. Just imagine how scared he is right now. He is far from his family in another world. He is lost and scared, and every day he thinks the demons makes him suffer just for fun. That's why he will really hate them. This will give the king a chance to break him, and then turn him into an ideal soldier, also called as the hero. At the same time, the masked man begins his torture again, but this time, he brought a giant monster almost 100 times his size. The masked man tells him that he will be free once he kills the monster. This really frightens Itami, but the masked man informs him not to worry, because their healers will heal him when he takes serious damage, meaning he won't die, and he will have to keep on fighting until he eventually kills the monster. With that, Itami gets slammed and thrown around like a ragged doll, while he screams in agonizing pain, saying it hurts. It hurts so much, but the monster doesn't stop. He keeps smashing him and kicking him like a football. Every time he is about to die from his injuries, the healers would heal him, and the cycle goes on. He begs the healer to stop healing him because he cannot bear the pain any longer and he just wants to die. But no one listens. He remembers how his sister used to tell him not to worry as he gets thrown to the wall by the monster. He thinks about his sister saying she is probably worried about him right now. But he remembers when he asked the king that he wants to return back to his world. The king tells him that sadly, he can't send him back, but he informs him that only the demon lord can send him back. As he lays there in the corner after being thrown by the monster, he realizes something, that since he won't die here anyways, he might as well not give up and try to return back to his sister. He stands up and with a creepy smile, he starts saying that all of this is like a video game that he used to play, where he won't really die no matter how many times he gets defeated. He starts behaving crazily, saying it hurts so much but he will try to kill the monster until he succeeds and he will rip it up to pieces for causing so much agonizing pain. The monster doesn't give a shit and it just looks at him strangely with a confused face. But with a terrifying bloodied face, Itami tells it that his whole body is burning, but no matter how much it would hurt, he will kill it. And then he will also kill the demon lord so that he can return to his sister, and he will definitely become the hero that this world needs. Back to the present, Itami replies to Callie's question saying that he doesn't know, but he tried to be a hero, like the Dragon Slayer hero was. But remembering the people who were close to him, he tells Callie that he failed. He couldn't save the people who were dear to him. He tried his best, he just couldn't. Because when he tries to be the hero, innocent demons suffered. But when he doesn't try to be the hero, there is nobody who can save the humans. That's why whatever he is doing, someone will have to suffer. This is the reason why he wanted to die. Hearing this, Callie grips her hand and tells him it's impossible to please everyone. Whatever he will do, someone will have to suffer. It is what it is. She grabs Itami by his shoulder, telling him to think, because after 60 to 70 years, when he gets old, what will he regret the most? That's why he just needs to do things that he likes the most, so that he will not have any regrets later. At the same time, in the background, the fireworks flies to the sky and it explodes with a beautiful, mesmerizing light and color in the sky. Callie looks straight into Itami's eyes while the fireworks burst in the sky, telling him that no matter what path he chooses, someone will suffer. But this is his own life. That's why he should do whatever he wants and be whatever he wants. Yes, someone will suffer, but he is not in charge of someone else's life. Let them live their own life, and he should live his own life as well. Itami listens to everything she is telling him, while looking at the fireworks, getting mesmerized by its beauty. Back in the past, the teacher tells the king that she thinks that they are doing something wrong, because the hero is just a kid. They can make him strong without torturing him, because she has the capability to turn the hero into the perfect soldier in just 2 years without any torture. The king tells her that they don't have much time. They need to defeat the demon lord as soon as possible. He further explains to her that we the humans multiply too fast, and right now there are approximately 11 million humans. Out of all the races, humans multiply the fastest with 2 to 3 kids per family. Soon, they will not have any place for people. But their neighbors, the demons, they have a lot of space while they are just around 7 million number in total population. That's why he just wants to take some land that they don't use. He also reminds the teacher that they should not forget that the demons are still mad at them for what they did to the dragons 2,000 years ago. Also, 70 years ago, the demons closed the trading routes to them. And he knows that soon their economy will collapse, since no trade is possible. That's why they need some resources from the demons that they don't have on their land. And they need to end this war as soon as possible. That's why they are in desperate need of the hero's help to overthrow the demons. With a dominant voice, he further tells the teacher that if saving his people will get him to hell, then he will gladly go there. As the kids of his kingdom waves at him, He tells the teacher calling her aunt, saying that her son would have been that kid's age. It really stunts her upon hearing this, but she snaps back to reality. Turns out this was her memory when she talked to the king. Now she is in some forest, seeing that two of her students, Itami and the girl, are fighting over a fruit. Itami asks her for help, saying that the girl is biting him trying to steal his fruit, but she just looks at him with a dead look in her eyes. Later, as a monster tries to eat a mother and her child, Itami makes his entrance and easily kills the monster with just one strike, saving the mother and the child. But due to his overwhelming mana, his sword breaks again. He gets close to the mother, asking her if she is okay, but the mother just slaps away his hand, saying that he should get away from them, asking him how did he manage to kill a powerful monster with just one hit. She starts telling him, "Are you even human? He should get away from them because he is no different from that monster if he has that kind of strength." What an ungrateful skank. Itami steps back, telling the mother that he is sorry, while the teacher and the girl just looks at him with a depressing face, feeling bad for him. In the evening, the teacher approaches Itami, giving him a new sword, while Itami awkwardly tells her that it's the 4th sword this week. The teacher just agrees with him, saying yes, telling him that he is an expensive student, but she knows he will keep breaking his swords until he learns how to control his mana. Itami tells her that he is sorry, but she replies that it's okay, because when she was his age, she was troublesome too. She looks at Itami, who seems depressed, and she remembers the incident that happened during the day, so she pats his head, saying that the woman was in shock. He should not take her words seriously, but Itami tells her that he doesn't care about that. His only goal is to go back home after all, but he asks her, why do everyone keep calling him a monster, because the woman wasn't the first person who called him a monster. Hearing this, the teacher gets worried, wondering what should she say. She starts panicking since she cannot come up with anything to advise her student. So she just starts laughing loudly and pats his shoulder, saying, "Don't cry. Tomorrow is the firework festival, after all, and he should be happy." The next day, as they attend the fireworks festival, the teacher tells Itami that when he returns to his own world, make a firework and remember them. As the fireworks explodes in the sky, with a beautiful smile, she tells him, "Don't forget about us, because they will surely miss him." Back at the present, as the fireworks burst in the sky, Itami tells Kaylee that he don't know, he don't understand, but he is sure only about one thing. He don't want his sister to see that instead of her brother, she sees a monster. In his mind, Itami turns the TV off, saying that he knows returning home is impossible and it's finally time to accept it. He was too focused on the past, and because of that, he didn't notice what he had. Thinking about his teacher and the girl, saying that he didn't notice the special thing he had with them until he finally lost it. As he turns his back from the imaginary television, he tells to himself that he is really scared because he don't know what is in his future. But with a serious face, he remembers Callie's words that no matter what path he chooses, someone will suffer. That's why he will try to know what he wants to be. He will choose his own path to have the least regrets, and it doesn't matter if someone suffers or not. At the same time, Noah, Saibet, and the girlfriend, whose name is revealed to be Emmy, spies on Callie and Itami. Noah tells them that, as planned, he will blind them with his magic. Then Saibet and Emmy will make them kiss as he demonstrates it with a doll again. But as Noah begin counting down 1, 2, and finally 3 to begin the mission, their uncle comes out of nowhere telling them that kids should leave immediately since the adults need to talk. Noah gets really terrified as cold sweat starts dripping, while his uncle tells him that he knew he could forgive humans for everything they did, but why him, as he points towards Itami? Just then, he suddenly appears behind Itami and Callie with a menacing aura, saying that he said nothing when they accepted 3 humans into their army, but they have crossed a line with that by accepting the hero as well. The demon's role in this world is simple: protect who needs to be protected. These laws was given to them by the goddess when she created the demons. Despite the fact that those damned monkeys wipe out the dragons 2,000 years ago, most monkeys, implying the humans of course, deserves mercy, but not him mentioning Itami. Just then, Itami sees his head being cut off by the strange person, but suddenly he comes back to his senses, but he gets terrified and sees that Callie has stopped the sword of the uncle with her bare hands. The uncle smirks at her while Callie tells her uncle to back off and he needs to stop. At the same time, Itami realizes that this demon can kill him with just one strike, and he remembers the past, that when a demon begged Itami to not kill him, he did not listen and just mercilessly killed him without any reason. He continues with his killing spree, killing as much demon as possible, but every night as he sleeps, he sees nightmare about the demons he killed, asking him, why did he kill them? That's why he tells himself that he deserved it. He needs to die, because he mercilessly killed 103 innocent demons. Callie tells her uncle again to back off. She wanted to explain everything first, but she realizes that her uncle won't stop, so it leaves her no choice as she gathers her mana to attack him. But Itami stops her, telling her uncle is right. He tells her that he is really grateful for her and the other's kindness, but with a sad smile, he tells her that he doesn't think he deserves any kindness because too many innocent smiles have faded away because of him. He makes everyone around him suffer, and he tells her that, to be honest, he feels that his life is just pointless. But just as the uncle tries to strike him, he grabs the sword with his hand and remembers Callie's kind words that saved him, where she told him that starting today, he will be her bodyguard, and everyone will call by his real name. He also starts thinking to himself that why the fuck is he saying that his life is pointless? The uncle, however, just ignores him and strikes his face, but as he tries to strike again, Itami remembers his teacher that before she passes away, she told him, "Goodbye, my boy, my hero." And just then, he starts realizing that he was never just the hero because he is Callie's bodyguard. He is a big brother. He is a troublesome student. He is a friend. He is the helper of maids. Realizing all this, he dodges the uncle's punch and grabs him by the face and throws him away. He gets in front of Callie, saying his life isn't just about being the hero, and he stares menacingly at the uncle, asking Callie if he is right. Itami realizes that the uncle is really strong and he cannot defeat him in his current condition, but he starts attacking him, telling himself that he don't need to win here, he just can't let him get near Callie. He lands his strike directly on his face, but he gets surprised when he sees that the uncle is just smirking at him while grabbing his arm. Using his left hand, he tries to punch him in the stomach, but gets more surprised seeing that the uncle didn't even blink, and he feels like he is punching a powerful, tall, immovable wall. Just then, the uncle hits his stomach with full force, and he flies from the mountain where he was hanging out with Callie to the festival ground, surprising the crowds. Itami could feel the immense pain in his lungs and he cannot breathe or even talk. As the uncle walks menacingly towards Itami, he tries to call Remy, the woman he loved, but his voice feels weird and he can't call her. He remembers that in the past, as he is training with his sword in the jungle, he sees two demons that looks like a father and a son that were also training. He looks at his bruised hand, but he gets sad because he don't want to train like this. Instead, he wants to do gardening and plant beautiful flowers as he imagines that he is holding flowers in his hand. But just then, his depressed face becomes brightened as he sees a cute demon girl with beautiful fiery eyes. Back in the past, as the uncle is cleaning his sword, he couldn't stop thinking about the girl that he met when he was a kid. Her eyes and her smile was just too beautiful. He sighs, wondering what to do. But as he is lost in his thought thinking about her, Callie enters his room and just looks at him. But just then she starts smiling at him. Back in the present, as he sees Itami struggling to get up, he tells him that he should not force himself that much, because he exploded his lungs and stomach slightly. He starts taunting him that he is not sure about monster like him, but normally for most creatures it's a deadly injury. But he tells him that he feels generous and kind today, so he will give him a healing potion, and with a cigar on one hand he tells him, but in exchange he needs to help him kill Callie. But he changes his mind again, telling Itami to forget about it since he will do it by himself right now. But he tells him that he needs to know that he will not only kill Callie, but he will kill her brother Noah, Noah's girlfriend, and Sabet as well. Hearing this, Itami, using all his remaining strength, immediately jumps and bites him in his Achilles tendon, refusing to let him go. And as he lost his consciousness, he dreams about the past. Then when his mother died, he could see that his sister cried a lot. He wanted to say something, but the words were stuck in his throat. He couldn't help her. He was utterly useless. Even when Saji and his teacher died, he couldn't do anything and was useless again. His mind starts going crazy, calling himself useless, and suddenly he wakes up and realizes that he was just dreaming about the past. The uncle calls him Sleeping Beauty, saying that he is finally awake, and he starts giggling at him, calling him Little Hero, and saying that they should talk. Outside the room, Noah and Sabet are really happy that Itami is finally awake, and they start yapping, but Callie just pretends that she doesn't care. Noah's girlfriend shushes them, saying that she hears something. The uncle looks at Itami's sword that he is holding very dearly, asking him, "Who is it?" Itami gets confused at first but realizes the question and tells him she is Saji while he looks at his sword. He tells him that she is his self-declared sister. The uncle tells him that he also has a sword like his, revealing his crimson blade, saying that she is Remy, his fiancée, who was brutally murdered by the dragon slayers 2,000 years ago. He starts asking him if he remembers Sagi's last words to him, because he would have probably heard her last words before her soul turned into his sword. Itami tells him yes, saying that his mouth tastes like iron and it feels cold as he remembers about her. When she was captured by the demons and she was about to die, she started talking to herself, saying that Brother Hero is far away now, and he will probably fight that strong demon lord with their teacher, who turns out to be her aunt as well, whose name is revealed to be Auntie. Tears come out from Saji's eyes as she says that she will die right here. She giggles, saying that she wanted to be with Itami till the end, but sadly she couldn't. She tells herself that if she could be next to him again one more time, then she would be his sword, unwavering and true. Through fierce and dangerous battle, she will fight for him in the form of his silent strength, and together they will conquer everything side by side. And as her life finally ends, she smiles with the brightest smile, telling Itami to let her help him one last time. But at the same time, in a battlefield, Itami kills the last demon who was in their way while trying to rescue Sagi from them. He sees that his teacher got heavily injured by the demons during the battle, and she is about to lose her life. He goes to check on her, but as he grabs her hand, the demon behind has not died yet, and she slowly starts getting up, holding a sword in her hand, even though there is a sword poking out of her belly. She slowly walks towards Itami and raises her sword to cut him, but Itami quickly senses this and gets worried since his sword is already broken. The demon girl tries to cut him, saying, "See you in hell, monster." But with quick thinking, Itami immediately grabs his teacher's sword, and he cuts the demon girl in half, killing her instantly. Later, he finally makes it to the place where they kill Sagi while carrying his dead teacher in his arms, with 2 swords behind his back. He looks at Sagi, where the demons have put her decapitated head on a spike. Seeing this, he completely breaks down, filled with anger and sorrow. Just then, the demons who had killed all those humans, including Saji, whose heads they had hung on a spike, started talking with each other about how they had left one alive talking about Itami. These were the extremist groups of demons that hate humans from the bottom of their heart. One of the demons carrying an axe approaches Itami, telling him, "Look, buddy, I think you're a bit confused here." He starts telling him that they have killed all the humans here, but sadly their lord is soft and doesn't allow them to kill civilians. He starts tapping his shoulder, saying that it is so stupid of their lord to do that, since humans started the war by killing civilian demons in human territory. He closes his face on Itami, looking at him with menacing eyes, saying that they killed even his mom. They left his father without a wife, and him without a mother, just because she was a demon, so that's why now it's his turn to take everything. But he couldn't complete his words since Itami just blasts his head off with a single kick, since he is tired of his blabbering, and he kills the rest of the demons as well. Later, as he buried both his teacher and Saji, he took an ounce of dirt in his hand, staring at it as it fell from his hand. As the dirt completely falls off, he grips his hand and takes his sword, putting it in his mouth trying to kill himself. But he starts remembering about all the good moments with them, and he remembers his sister as well, so he couldn't kill himself as he drops his sword. Later, as he returns to his base, all the soldiers are scared of him, saying he looks like a monster and he can kill anyone with one punch. At the same time, with a depressing face, Itami thinks to himself that everyone thought that he was someone special, but it's actually not true, because he couldn't even save those who were dearest to him and failed to do what was required of him. That's why as a human he is a failure, but back in the present he tells the uncle, remembering about Callie and the others, saying that this time he won't lose them even if he has to swing his sword again. He wants to be a real hero for them. At the same time, Noah and the others try to eavesdrop on the conversation, but Noah is only able to hear the last words that Itami said about being a hero for them, and his eyes brighten up with emotions, calling him bro. Just then, Itami opens up the door and starts smiling at them, saying, "I am sorry to make you all worry." Elsewhere, in Itami's original world, his sister is smoking cigarettes while drinking coffee and staring at the surroundings from her apartment. She thinks about her brother's disappearance and gets really sad remembering how she was so happy, smiling with a cute smile, when she first held her brother in her arms for the first time. With that, she makes up her mind and enters her apartment. Apparently, she had done everything to research the mysterious disappearance of her brother, and after years of research, she has finally found a way to go to the world where her brother had disappeared. Her room is a mess filled with research papers. Just then, she drops her phone, and her colleague texts her to open the door of her apartment, begging her to not do that, saying, "Yuna," which is her name, "they need to test it first." However, she just completely shuts them off and starts activating the device using her computer, and she steps inside the testing chamber while remembering her brother. The device starts activating while her friend begs her to stop and turn it off since it's not safe, but just then, she starts disappearing bit by bit, just like her brother, while emanating a purple and white light. She looks at her hand with a cigarette in her mouth, smiling and thinking that it is finally working. At the same time, Callie stands beside her uncle while Noah hugs Itami, with the 2 girls beside him telling Itami that he got good news. Callie asks her uncle what he and Itami were talking about in the room earlier. He replies that it's nothing important. They were just talking about man stuff. But Callie tells him to cut the crap and put it out. But he simply tells her that he has some business to do, so he won't be able to fight for her at the annual battle ceremony. He starts smirking, telling her that's why he talked to Itami to fight in the tournament instead of him. Callie gets mad, saying, "What the hell was he thinking? Because only those closest to the Demon King can fight in this battle." He tells her that he stopped being close to her when she made Itami her bodyguard. That's why he has to prove that she is worthy of her title. With that, he tells her he is leaving the castle on his own personal business, and he will be back at Noah and Emi's wedding. Callie gets really confused with all this and is left in disbelief, unable to even say anything. Later, they start having a mini party where Noah toasts to Itami for surviving his uncle. All the maids, however, start blushing wildly, seeing Itami half naked, so Sabet gives him some clothes, begging him to please put this on. As Itami is wearing the clothes Sabet gave him, Noah tells him that he had no idea that his uncle wanted to test him, and he almost crapped his pants when he suddenly came out of nowhere to test him. But Callie just stares with a serious look at Emmy and Noah, who were enjoying the mini party. She remembers how when she finally found the both of them after being kidnapped by the humans, Noah somehow managed to kill most of the kidnappers but was in terrible condition, with his body all covered in blood, and in his hands, he was holding a bloodied knife. Callie, with a really surprised look, sees that both Emmy and her brother have lost their ears. This made her so mad, and she felt so bad for the two of them, that on that day an entire town on the border was burned to the ground and there were no human survivors. Back at the mini party, Noah starts clapping his hands to gather everyone's attention, and he tells them, "Friends, I have an important announcement." Emmy starts blushing, while Noah grabs her by the shoulder and tells everyone that Emmy and he himself will be getting married after the annual battle ceremony, and all of them present here are invited. All the maids start going crazy while blushing wildly, and everyone, including the maids, congratulates him. Elsewhere, a demon with blue hair and blue eyes starts yapping, saying that he has heard that his opponent in the tournament will be a human. He laughs at this, thinking that humans are weak, and this brat turns out to be from the Lawrence family. He is the first son of the head of the Lawrence clan, named Kim Lawrence, and beside him is his younger brother, the second son of the head of the Lawrence clan, named Saki Lawrence. The day of the annual battle ceremony finally came, where the two ancient demon clans fight in the arena. These two ancient clans include the blue-haired Lawrence clan and the white-haired Himawari clan. The two clan leaders have to choose a servant who will fight for them, and they should prove that they are worthy of fighting for the clan or even dying for them. In this tournament, Noah is the commentator, and he announces that today in the holy arena the one who will fight is Kim Lawrence from the Lawrence clan, who will fight for his father, and for the Himawari clan, the one who will fight is his friend, his bro, Itami. The crowd starts booing Itami, saying he is just a human and wondering why he is even here in this tournament, but Sabet, along with the other maids, starts cheering for Itami, giving him their full support. Callie asks the head of the Lawrence clan if his son is fighting this year. He tells her yes, saying that he was surprised when he asked to fight for him. Noah starts explaining the rules that the fight will only end with death or their opponent giving up. And as he starts counting for the fight to begin, Lawrence calls out to Itami, saying, "Hey human," and showing him a gesture with his hand that he is dead. The countdown finally reaches 1, and the fight begins, and Kim immediately dashes towards Itami, trying to cut him with his sword. But as he tries to take out his sword, saying he will finish him in one blow, Itami just uses his hand as leverage, stopping him from taking out his sword, and he jumps over him, surprising Kim as he falls to the ground. But just then, Kim refuses to be humiliated like this, and using his arms, he pushes himself and lands a kick in Itami's jaw that makes him spill out blood. Kim starts saying that a demon as talented as him won't lose to a mere human. He falls back and praises Itami while gritting his teeth, saying he is impressive for someone of his caliber. But he starts telling him that no matter how hard he trains, he will never be better than him. He takes out his sword, saying this is because he is born with the blood of champions, and the blood coursing through his veins is blessed by the goddess herself. He starts moving forward towards Itami, and with each step, he tells him that every move I make, every step I take, it's as if the universe bends to his will. His power is not something you can earn because it's a gift. And with that, he starts striking Itami as fast as he can, but he doesn't hit him, but simply tells him to look at himself, already worn out, drowning in a sea of effort when the fight has not even begun, hoping that somehow or some way he can close the gap between them. But Itami gets tired of his nonsense yapping, and he simply grabs him by his hand, which really shocks Kim since he was able to even see his hand at that speed, let alone catch it. But just then, Itami strikes him with his sword, but somehow he was able to dodge using his lightning speed. But as he tries to punch Itami's gut with his lightning speed again, Itami catches his hand once again and throws him to the side. This really shocked him, but what shocked him the most is when he realized that the whole time they were fighting, Itami didn't even use his mana once. He looks at Itami as he oozes out a very dark and powerful aura. With his glowing dark blue eyes, he gets terrified, asking himself if he is actually scared of a mere human. He starts remembering the past, When he was on his own world, he remembers playing the piano as best as he could. But his father, however, tells him enough and to stop playing, saying, "Do you want to shame our family like that?" With a trembling voice, he says, "No, father." But his father starts demanding his hand, pointing a wooden scale at him, telling him, "Do you realize how much I have invested in you?" As Kim opens his hand, there are bruises all over it, suggesting constant abuse by his father. He starts striking him with the ruler in his hand, saying his clothes, his piano, and the time he wasted on someone so talentless, and he starts yelling at him with a loud voice, saying he is thanking him like this by shaming himself and his family by playing his piano in such a useless way. Later, as he rests on his bed inside his room, he starts looking at the bruise on his hand, and he starts crying, saying it hurts. Just then, a voice calls out to him, saying it has a mission for him. An angel with white hair and black wings with fiery eyes appears out of nowhere and starts telling him that he is going to save her world from a big war. Back at the tournament, Kim starts talking to himself, saying, "Scared? No, he is wrong," because he remembers that the wooden ruler of his father was much scarier. He looks at Itami and starts gathering his mana, and lightning starts appearing in his eyes and on his hand like a chidori, saying that his little brother is also looking at him. He calls out to his brother, saying, "Saki, look at me. Look at the reason why he will never cry out of fear again." Kim starts smiling menacingly as a blue lightning aura surrounds him, turning into a blue lightning dragon. But seeing Kim like this, Itami starts remembering his conversation with the uncle, where he told him that he has done a lot of unforgivable things, asking him if it would be all right for him, a sinner, to fight for those he loves, and if he even has the right to love. The uncle tells him that humans often forget about one thing: their past mistakes are supposed to guide them to the correct path, not to define them. However, humans do one thing that is better than the other races: they can change. Now back in the tournament, Itami oozes out a dark aura as Kim tries to attack him with the dragon-shaped lightning. He holds his sword, getting ready in a striking position as Kim closes in on him. At the same time in the Dwarf Kingdom, a mage and a young girl with Nick Fury's eyes see the broadcast of the tournament, saying they have never seen anything like this. They are also really surprised that a human is fighting for the Himawari clan since demons are supposed to be at war with the humans. Just then, they start calling Yuna to come see the tournament, saying that maybe the human fighting in the tournament is the one she is looking for. Yuna, with a surprised tone, tells them that her brother wouldn't even hurt an ant. He is too cute and caring, and he is too weak to be able to do that. But as she watches the tournament, she gets the shock of her life, wondering if that person is really Itami. Just then, Noah announces in excitement, saying, "Oh my goodness, my brother just sliced through the lightning," and he starts screaming and cheering that he is my bro Itami with an excited tone.